As long as you continuously put in the activity, have income-producing ability, income-producing activity hours, you're going to be okay. And that's what kind of got me to that hump. Make sure that, hey, when times are bad and I really want to kind of tap out, is realizing it happens to all of us. And if I can do it once, I can do it again. So that was my mindset to that. But keep pushing, keep moving forward. Proven system is going to work. So I knew as long as I put the hours into the business, I was going to be okay.
All right, welcome to True Talk. Got my man Rami Hamady with me today. How we doing, Rami?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Absolutely, dude. Thanks for coming down. Technically, you actually are coming down. You're up in Boston, right?
Yep.
How long you been in Boston now?
I've been in Boston, so I grew up there for 13 years.
Yep.
I moved overseas for a bit, for about 9 years, and I came back about 11 years ago, so quite some time.
Okay. So grew up there, moved overseas for 9 years.
Yes.
This is Lebanon.
Lebanon, yep. Beirut, Lebanon, overseas.
Yeah,
Middle
that's
East.
where your family's from originally.
Correct, yes.
You've been with us now 3 years.
Yep.
First year issued over 500.
Yes.
Last year was over 6, so you did a little bit more.
Yep.
And now this year, as of, numbers current as of August, week 3, you're Hall of Fame, 450, I believe. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And you don't come from a sales background, though.
No, not whatsoever.
What was your I know you were in, hospital most recent, but like fresh out of school, what kind of jobs did you work? What's your background?
Yeah, so just thank you again, Mike, for having me
Absolutely.
on. I appreciate it. So again, I was born and raised in Boston for a bit, just to give you some insight.
Yep.
And then when I moved overseas to Lebanon, my parents, they wanted all of us to kind of go together and just learn about the country, right? Learn about where you're from.
And how old were you when you moved there?
I was 12 when I moved.
Oh,
11
wow.
or 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was right when I finished. I remember middle school. I was going into out of 8th grade. I was about to enter high school. Like I think I was 13 maybe. Right before you enter like 9th grade.
And was this always the plan?
No, it was not. I was told 3 months before I was going to move. Yeah. And as a kid,
man. What did you think?
I didn't believe it.
Really?
I thought it was fake, yeah. Texting all my friends saying, hey, we're not going. Nothing's going to happen. And all of a sudden, all the things started to get packed,
Yeah, you're like, oh, shit, this is real.
Yep, I'm like, legit. So long story short, I go over there. I go to school there. It was great. It was good to go to school there and kind of learn what the country's like outside the United States.
And you spoke Lebanese already?
No.
You didn't?
Did not. I understood it. So I could understand fluently. I couldn't speak it. As I got there, I was able to speak it. And now I can speak both fluently.
Okay.
So I went there, and then I basically said, hey, I want to kind of finish school here and kind of cut ties and come back home to Boston. I always call Boston my home.
Yeah.
So I came back to Boston. At that point, never looked back. And then I kind of got into medical field. So I became an exercise and health scientist or physiologist. At that point in time, I became a PA, a physician assistant. Then I entered my medical field.
Okay.
Track to become a doctor.
Where did that desire come from? Did you always want to get in the medical field?
So yes and no. So to be very honest, when you come from a Middle Eastern background, you push on entrepreneurship, lawyers, or doctors, right? And then for me, it was either, hey, become like a lawyer because I know how to argue a lot. My parents always told me, like, hey, you can argue for days, or go into the medical field. And I liked helping people. Science was always good for me. Biology, I did really good in those kind of grades. Okay. So I just kind of gravitated toward it, but it wasn't per se passion. I would say just kind of fell into my lap. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of like, this will make my parents happy.
Exactly.
I don't dislike it, so hey, let's give it a shot.
Be blunt. Correct.
Got it. Okay. Going back to, that's crazy, being middle school age, just graduating 8th grade. You're thinking you're going to high school in Boston, right?
Yep.
And then your family's like, no, dude, we're going back to Lebanon.
Going to Beirut, Lebanon.
What was like going through your mind? Like, were you happy? Were you upset? Were you nervous?
I was scared. I was young, so I was scared. I was timid, and I didn't want it. I was unhappy. I was angry. I was like, you guys told me 3 months ago, this is not fair. I want all my friends here. And it's tough. I'll be very honest. Being removed from your environment at such a young age and then kind of going overseas to an environment that you're not that familiar with, it was a big change for me. I didn't know what to expect. Didn't kind of know what to really prepare myself for. So it was a little scary. But when I got there, it was cool. I can promise. Yeah, you go overseas to Beirut, Lebanon, you think you're in New York. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very good city to go visit.
Yeah.
Definitely visit. Living there in this time of days,
not so much.
different situation. Yeah. Different.
So you finished high school there?
Yes.
Did you go to college there?
Yeah, 1 year of university.
1 year, okay. And then you came back to Boston.
Yes, and I was a business major because my father, he was always had businesses going in hospitality, food and beverage. So I decided to kind of follow his steps a little bit. Okay. At that point in time, I said, hey, you know what? I worked there for 5 years, while I was in school. I didn't want to kind of do that for the rest of my life. I want to kind of have my own venture, learn what I want to do myself. That's when I came back over here.
Got it. So came over here, finished school here.
Yep.
And then you got right into the medical field.
Yeah, I went to Boston University, so I ended up graduating from Boston University. I started at UMass Boston, then I transferred over to BU.
Okay.
Then at BU, I finished my exercise health science degree, and I went to the medical field, and I became a PA.
Got it. At that point, your goal was to become a doctor?
Yes.
What type of doctor?
Sports medicine.
Okay.
So I cardiology and sports medicine focused.
Gotcha.
Now, if I got into internal or general medicine, like family practice, I had no problem doing that, but my goal was sports medicine. I love sports. Yeah, when I was younger, I made, just to say, not to throw any clout on myself, but I was on the under 18 men's national basketball team for Lebanon.
Really?
Yeah. And so I hurt my knee, and I know it's cliche, but I really did. Like, I completely, blew out my knee, couldn't do it anymore. At that point in time, I gave up basketball as my dream. I didn't grow past 6 feet, so.
Gotcha.
Tough.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, it's funny. You think about, like, the odds of, like, making it in professional sports. I mean, you hear that so many times. I was top of my class, I was whatever, and then it's one injury.
That's it.
And it's done.
All it takes.
Insane. I mean, it's like, these people, the athletes shouldn't make so much. Dude, you know what they do, what they're, like, it's a sliver of percent chance that you're ever going to make it there.
Exactly. And you have so much risk compared to the pros. I agree.
Absolutely. So was basketball always your favorite sport?
It was, yeah. Basketball and football.
Gotcha. Now, like our football or like your football? Okay.
Yeah. See, to me, it was always football was American football to
Got
me.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in Lebanon, they call football soccer.
Right.
But to me, soccer, and football.
Soccer's big there, right?
It is, yeah. In general, overseas, in general, soccer's huge. The World Cup and the Euro Cup, big time. I like soccer, but not too big much of a fan. Too long.
I can't watch it, man. It's too. You're playing for an hour, and then that's why they get so excited off of one goal. It's like you've been kicking the ball around for 1 hour, and you got one score.
Exactly.
I'd be celebrating too, like I just won the lottery.
100%.
Like, oh shit, it's taking me 49 minutes to get this.
Exactly.
So you graduate college here, you get right into the medical field, you start working at a hospital right away?
Yes.
What was that like?
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I like helping families bedside. I'm able, I can set you a treatment plan. I can tell you what medications to take, what to do. And if you get better, I get gratification. Now, if you came back and you weren't kind of improving, that kind of affected my mental space per se. And that's what led to me as well, looking into different opportunities. Trying to figure out, hey, is there ways to kind of get the same gratification and help people in a different industry? And that's when I reconnected with Marisa. So as you know, Marisa Maggio.
Yep.
I've dated her for quite some time. I knew her about 15 years ago, plus her and her sister from the same area in Boston.
Got it. So you guys met in what, middle school?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yes, right after, like right in 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
So right when I moved to Lebanon, I came back, that's when I met Marisa.
Okay.
So I came back here, I met Marisa. We were very young, and then we ended up dating. We separated for a bit. Yeah. And we ended up reconnecting again about...
Well, that's also why you didn't want to leave then. You had a girlfriend here, and now you're going overseas.
Right. Yeah, no, so the funny thing was, so I moved before I met Marisa. So I moved again in middle school, but I met Marisa when I came back.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, the summer I came back.
Okay.
So when I came back, I was 17, 18. Met Marisa, we dated for a couple of years, and then we separated. And then I re-met her again 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then we reconnected, we dated, and then I kind of
And she was already here when you guys reconnected?
She was at FFL, yeah.
Yep,
Now, I didn't know what she was doing.
She didn't try to recruit you?
No, not once. Okay. And I will tell her to this day, not once. And I always told her I appreciated that. Yeah. She never put pressure on. No, she said, whenever you want to, Rami, you come on your own volition. I saw her coming in late at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. Having a girlfriend coming at 10, you're like, hey,
what the hell's going on?
What are you doing at night? Yeah, what's going on? So she's like, no, I'm helping insurance, helping families, protecting legacies. So I started to look into a little bit more. Okay. I saw a video with Sean, and then after, speaking with him in quite some time, I was like, this is, the right opportunity. Yeah. It's definitely going to work out.
Got it. What was it about the video with Sean that got you?
His passion, first and foremost, like how dedicated he was. You can see that he, like, no BS, like he's telling the truth, like he's serious about what he's talking about. And on top of that, it was helping families. It was truly understanding that, again, you can come back to me 18 times in the hospital, right? You can come consistently. Right. If you don't get better, I took it serious. And that might be a little selfish, but I would think it was my fault. Yeah. Now, in the house, if I'm sitting down in front of you, the second I write that policy, I protect you financially. If you cancel, that's on you. If I walk out that door, I know they're helping. I know I protected them financially. Yeah. So I'm still helping in one way or the other. One side was on the medical side, one side's financially.
Gotcha. What did you know about life insurance prior to this? Like, did you have it? Did any of your families? Is this something y'all talked about, or was not even on your radar?
Never had it. Didn't know anything about life insurance. Was never educated on life insurance. It's not common in my family. I don't think anybody in my family has life insurance outside when I came in the business and I wrote the policies. But no, had no.
Dude, isn't it crazy? Think about, like, you own a car, first thing you do is you get car insurance, right? You have to, or you will go to jail. You
Correct.
can't drive. I know people that try it. It doesn't work out well. They tow your car, they arrest you. Been there, done that. You know, same thing. Your house. You have a house. You have to have insurance. I mean, you buy a cell phone, they make you feel like you have to have. You're like, dude, the insurance costs more than me buying a new phone if it breaks, you know? But life insurance is something that never gets talked about. It's not mandatory. It should be.
I agree.
I'm not saying that just because I'm in the industry. It should be. It's the one insurance that you're guaranteed to use.
100%.
You're not guaranteed to go crash into someone's car tomorrow. You're not guaranteed that your house is going to flood.
Nope.
You know, you don't get any money back. Like, I love that. Like, I haven't used my homeowner's insurance ever. Do I get any money back on it? No.
Exactly.
But life insurance is something that is just, you know, it's not talked about enough. Like, you had really no idea even what it was until you met or reconnected with Marisa.
Correct. Exactly.
So what made you, you know, finally decide to make that shift? It's a big deal, right? Because, I mean, you're doing what kind of like what your parents almost want you to do, right? Exactly. You're in the medical field. Parents are probably, I'm sure your dad was proud. You're working at a hospital, working your way up. And, like, how hard was that decision to move to life insurance, and what actually kind of made you take that final step?
So to be honest, it wasn't too hard, you know, making the transition, because I was able to kind of take a step back first and kind of like fly on the wall perspective. I was able to see the business run, see how it was, what her day-to-day looked like regarding the sales, regarding building the agency. Most importantly, I'll be honest, as we all come in, we want to make a little bit more money, right? The hospital, it wasn't providing for me. Now, it would in the long term. Now, the thing is that in the beginning was the why, right? It was, I want to make more money. I want to be able to kind of have this freedom. But then it started to slowly turn to wanting to retire my family. Seeing the bigger picture. It's a business. Like, you actually, I remember I used to always ask Marisa, you own an agency? So I'd sit down with Mike. I would say, Mike, what do you do? You would tell me, I own my insurance company. So wait, you actually own it? Yes. Right. So you're the owner. You own the insurance company. It's the agency under your name. Right. And the whole nine. And I would, you know, pick at that several times. And once I actually saw it for the opportunity, how it was, I never looked back. I said, let's have some blind faith. Worst case scenario, I'll have an insurance license. What's the worst that can happen? Right. And I moved forward. And thankfully enough, it matched my personality pretty well. I'm very direct, just like how we all are up here in the Northeast. So blunt works. And I think I'm just really straightforward. I don't BS around in the home or on the phone with the client. I tell them how it is and how to get there. And basically, they appreciate that. They want someone to lead, guide, and direct. And that kind of really stuck out to me in the business.
How long were you, you know, fly on the wall, as you said, before you realized, you know what, or before you decided to take a stab at this?
At least I think 6 months. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, like
so
half a year.
You just kind of watching, hanging out, you know. And now, was Marisa in home at that point, or virtual? Okay.
She was in home, yeah.
Got it. Did you go on any appointments?
2021, no. No appointments. Back in 2021. My first day was July 17th of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happened was, I remember she came home. She came home that week a couple nights late, and I knew that she was working. And I had a really bad day at the hospital, tough week, you know. This is after the, you know, certain things happened in 2019, 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Hospitals are
full,
a mess. Yeah, dude. So they're understaffed, to say the least.
God,
so at that point,
that must have sucked.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't even want to think about it. It's surely PTSD. But that, you know, was pushing me towards it. So that kind of was opening my eyes, saying maybe I should start looking at other things. And I had a conversation with my father about that. I said, my dad's an entrepreneur, so he understands business. He said, if it's a profitable entity and you're able to make a profit and it's not something that's going to harm you or your family, take a shot at it. What's the worst that's going to happen? He's like, truly. He's like, in business, you know, you shoot for the moon, land on the stars type of thing. So
and you're how old were you at the time?
I was 29. I'm now 33.
So still young enough to, like, hey, if this doesn't go, I mean, you're not stuck here. You know, you're not 62 years old where it's like, dude, I ain't got much time left. You know?
No, and I always had the hospital's always open. They always said, hey, you can always come back here and work if you want to. And I'll be honest, it's something called, you know, per diem. It means you can work seasonal on the hospital. I went from part-time to per diem. So I had
kind of worked your way out of it.
You had a safety net. I was like, in the beginning, I said, it doesn't work, I can go back. But that's what I did in the beginning, and truly it just kind of really propelled me to move forward in the business. Convention was huge, by the way. No exaggeration.
Which convention?
The first convention I went to was down in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time that we went down to Miami.
Okay, the first stadium.
That was my first convention.
Really?
Yep, and when going there.
How long were you with us before that event?
A year, not even. It was
okay.
like,
so you were already out there selling a little bit.
Barely part-time.
Okay.
Yeah, part-time. 18 families the first month.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit the ground running.
What was your first time down on lead? And this was back when we were still in home, right?
Yes.
What was it like? Because you've never done sales.
No.
Obviously, I mean, you can talk, communicate. I would say you're probably an extrovert, right?
Yeah, I like to consider myself
But that doesn't always translate. I know a lot of people that just can't shut up. It doesn't mean they can sell. You know, it's like they'll talk themselves out of sales. I know them, talk to them all the time.
Exactly. I've done it at times.
But, we've all done it. It's like, dude, if I could just tell myself to shut up, maybe I would have helped this family. But what was it like, that first time on the phone, getting in the home? Did you have success right off the bat? Did you struggle at all?
Yeah, so my first time, I remember going to the office. I remember I walked in with Marisa and Christine in the Chelmsford office.
Yep.
They said, hey, here's a stack of leads. Here's a script called. They were aged mortgage protection. They're the mailers. They're probably about, thinking back at it now, 7, 8 months old, maybe up to a year. I had no idea. I was just told, hey, call these leads, and here's a script. I went through the script. I continued to call the leads over and over again, and I ended up booking my first day 14 appointments.
Okay.
Yeah. And
how long did you dial for?
For about 5-6 hours, I believe.
Yeah, straight.
Straight, yeah.
Because some people, Rami, are like, I work for, 19 hours. Like, dude, you went and got coffee. You took a freaking nap. You were taking a shot. Like, stop. You didn't work for you may have started a project in the morning, went and did a bunch of other shit and came back, but you're 5-6 hours straight dialing.
Straight. And I had Marisa with the office door open, Christina her office door open, and they purposely were making sure that, hey, I want to hear you talking. And if I don't say every word on the script, they would come in and say,
so they correct you right on the spot.
This. Yeah, there's a point on the script. I remember it said, are you a smoker or non-smoker? They would answer yes or no. And it says, okay, do you plan on starting anytime soon, or do you plan on quitting anytime soon?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that a few times. They would come right in and say, yeah, say this. So I started reading it, and the script worked.
Yeah.
And I will implore new agents, guys, just to literally read the script. That's all you have to do. It's just literally just read the script. The system works. The wheel's there. Don't reinvent it. May take some time.
Right.
It's going to work out. And for me, right away, I had success on the phones. Now I'll tell you this. Right, in the field, a little different.
Yeah.
So I had a good success, 14 appointments. Didn't sell any of them.
Really? How many did you sit with?
Yeah, I sat with 6 of them.
Okay.
6, yeah. Didn't sell any of them. For my first day, nothing at all. Second day, came back in.
Hold on, let's stop there. What happened in these appointments?
So, it's really funny. Honestly, it was really funny. She's a Lebanese woman. So in my mind, think about this.
What are the odds, dude?
I'm telling you, right? So think of this, right? You enter the business. You kind of get your feet wet, you book the appointment, and she's like, all right, she's Lebanese, and you're talking to her in Arabic. So in my mind, I'm like, hey, it's a lay down. I'm like, she wants to get it no matter what.
Yeah.
I can build a report. I don't know the business. I'm like, it's easy. She doesn't let me in her house. She doesn't even let me anywhere near the apartment. We're sitting outside of the apartment on benches. God. Yeah. And then I'm going through it, and I'm asking her, like, hey, what do you want this for? What's it about? She's telling me to replace my income if I get sick.
Yeah.
Me being new, I kept pushing death.
So you weren't even listening.
No, I wasn't even listening at all. And then literally what happened was she didn't get anything, nothing. She was like, basically, hey, I don't need this, even though we have products that will cover sickness, disability, critical, chronic, terminal. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, that first appointment, botched it. Went to another appointment, ended up talking to them, no showed. At night, 9 o'clock at night, I'm arguing.
The best.
They were the best. Now they are.
Yeah.
I was arguing with a lady, Mike. She's asked me how much it's going to cost. How much you want to pay? How much does it cost? How much you want to pay? Back and forth 20 different times, bro. It was ridiculous. Then I finally tell her it'll be costing $30 to $200. Who's going to ever want insurance when somebody is telling you this is the range?
Right.
I'm your professional. I'm going to tell you what your age and gender is going to bring to you, right? According to your health, but I didn't know anything. So that's how my first appointments went. I learned quick. You know, I learned pretty quick.
Were you so this was 6 in a day that you sat with?
Yes.
Didn't help anyone?
0.
How did you, coming back home that night, how was it? Were you discouraged? Were you thinking about like, hey, this ain't for me? Or where were you at mentally?
So I was disappointed.
Yeah.
It wasn't discouraged. I'm someone that, I'm going to give it my all. And if I do sample size with all my life. Everything I do, I have to make sure I have a good sample size to know that, hey, this is actually, a pattern. It's predictable.
So you weren't ruling it out. You're just like, hey, man, this day sucked.
Yeah, and I say I suck. I was I was being honest with myself. I suck. What I do wrong. And I talked to Marisa, and I role played with her. I would be like, hey, this is what happened. This is what I said. And then she told me, like, hey, don't say this. Don't say that. And a funny story. 2 years later, that same lady filled out a lead. I went back to her house and I ended up helping her.
The first one, the Lebanese lady?
No, the one at night, Joann.
Oh, the one at, okay.
Yeah, her name's Joann. I still remember her name to this day.
How long after she filled?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. So basically, my 2.5 year in the business, I got a lead. Went out there. I'm like, wait, this is my lady who told me basically like I don't want it.
Yeah.
She didn't know the price.
Did she remember you?
She did.
Yeah.
She did, and I told the truth. I was like, I was new back then. I didn't really know what I was doing per se. I was just doing the best I could. But now I understand this. Let me help you. End up protecting her final expenses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So first day over 6. How long did it take you to, like, I guess when did you close your first appointment? Was it next day, next week?
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was next week. The next week I closed my first appointment. It was an equity protection, and then I closed another one as a regular, just a regular term policy, mortgage insurance.
What do you think were the biggest changes you made from that first day to, that next week?
Listening more.
Yeah.
Like taking the time to slow down. As you can tell, I can talk pretty fast sometimes and mumble a bit. So just kind of try to slow down, articulate more, and find what their need was. What's the why?
Yeah.
Like, what's the purpose of the insurance? Not just, hey, protecting my mortgage, but why specifically?
Right.
Is it because the loss of income is going to cause this kind of burden? Do you not want to use retirement to plan for medical bills and treatment? Those kind of things. So I would take constant action and constant correction from Risa, my upline, and of course other mentors of mine. And I just applied it. And literally just said, hey, what do I say? How do I say it? They told me, and I said it. Yeah. And it worked.
I mean, that's so huge because, it's like, in one sense, when you're booking an appointment, when you're on the phone, I mean, say exactly what I say, and if you say it that way, you should be able to book the appointment. But in the home, you never know what you're going to run into.
No.
It's not like it's the complete opposite. You can't have a script for the home.
No.
And I think in the beginning, we always, well, what do I say at this point? Just take the appointment, one appointment at a time. And like you said, listen, because they'll tell you what they want without telling you what they want. But if you're too caught, I mean, a lot of times you're just so nervous, you're brand new, you're, projectile vomiting on them words, like, and you're not even paying attention to what they want.
True.
But if you can take a step back and listen to because, I mean, at the end of the day, our job is to find something that fits their needs and their budget. The needs is a big part of that.
Of course.
And they will tell you if you can listen,
Yep.
But now your first year, you ended up over 500,000?
Yeah.
So, early on, struggled a little bit. You said your first month, you 18K?
Yep. 18 families.
18 families. So, over 18,000 in production. Yep. Not bad for a first month. But, I mean, compared to most of the numbers now, it's like that's not. Like back in our day, that would have been like, dude, two more, you would have hit 20K. 20K is like the goal.
I know.
Now it's like 40 is the new 20,
It is, correct.
And how long into that year did it take you to kind of get on that pace? Because you hit 500, so you must have got over 50, 60K a month at some point. Yeah. When did that happen?
A few months in. So a good thing the convention really opened my eyes to investing into myself. It really made me realize that it's a business, right? Yeah. And don't be frugal. You got to spend money to make money. Mm-hmm. I tell all my agents, if you're scared to cut that $1,000 check, you never can cut a $10,000 check.
Correct. Were you scared in the beginning?
I was timid in the beginning.
Yeah.
From Risa, and they kind of helped me.
Yeah.
They said, hey, Rami, go ahead and do this. Just trust me, do it. It's not going to fail you. It's going to work. Mm-hmm. So I invested in myself, and I doubled down my lead flow. That was huge. Doubling down on leads, and making sure I had the ability to kind of scale the production to where it could be. And that's where I started hitting the 50, 60 families a month. Just doubling down on leads and all mortgage mail drops, and just all mortgage mail off the back then, the CRM, now the ILC.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then, like I said, finished 500 plus. That was all in-home.
Yes.
And then next year, you were still in-home when you did 6?
Yes.
Yep. And then you transitioned recently to virtual.
Yeah.
Telesales or virtual? Tele.
I'll add some Zooms in there if I can, but telesale makes it easier.
How was that transition?
It was tough for me. Meanwhile, he always talked about it. He was like, dude, I was scared for you, bro. He was like, I was scared. I didn't think you were going to do the transition. I was stuck in my ways, Mike. I loved in-home. I didn't.
You were one of the last adapters.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. I think honestly, I'm probably one of the very few who waited until they had to.
Yeah.
And, I had to, Mike.
Why? Because you like the in-home so much, or you just were like, I don't want to learn something new. This is working.
It's because it's working. One, if something's working, I was told don't ever fix something that's not broken, right? And second, I didn't really know what to expect. It wasn't predictable for me, and I'm very not in your face in the home, but I'm very straightforward and direct. I'm very blunt. Every appointment, I ask permission to be as blunt as I can be during the whole conversation. On the phone, I get very worried that if I say the wrong thing, click.
Right.
So it kind of it made me feel like that maybe my skills isn't meant for the telesales, but limiting belief. It's all limiting beliefs at that point in time. But I pushed through it. I said, hey, let me try this out. And I actually, funny story, my first month, all telesales, it was my largest production month ever.
Really?
I had 2 weeks off. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was either the Ignite conference or it was the Ignite conference or going to, I think that was down in Vegas. It was the Ignite conference or going to, I think, the trip. There was some trip that came up with FFL where we missed 2 weeks. I didn't produce for 2 weeks, and I hit my largest month, 90.
Wow.
90 families.
90.
90, yeah. And I did it for 2 weeks of the month, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. All it is, I'm talking to more people.
Yeah.
I was able to reach more and more people.
So was it success right off the bat, like once you got on the phone, or did it take you, a few days, a week or so to kind of?
So success as in like, my normal production, did it see a dip? I saw a small dip in the beginning,
Okay.
I went down from like 70, 60 down to like, let's say 40, 50, but then right away it went right back up. Scheduling. I had to figure out my schedule. Monday and Thursday is different than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? Because for me, I would do Monday, so go for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Rinse, wash, repeat. When I dial every day, it was different for me. I wasn't used to dialing every day.
Yeah.
My lead type, the way I don't mind, time for money. So I mail drop around like 3K a week, depending on the leads, maybe 4K a week. Yeah. And I'll get them, book my schedule within, a few hours, end up, having a day.
Right. It was great. Imagine if you were told day one, hey, Rami, you're going to have to drop 3K a week in leads. What would you have said?
I was like, kick rocks. Like, I'm out of here. Like, no way.
The reason I say it's like if you're brand new, I got to do that. No, you don't. No. Like, first of all, you don't do anything.
100%.
But, you get there. It's almost like it's weird. You almost earn the right to buy that many leads, right? Like, because if you're not good in the home, if you don't have that process figured out, it doesn't matter how many leads you buy. No. And that's why I'll say this on every podcast we do. This is not for everyone.
No.
How many people have you seen came and quit, in the 3 years you've been here?
A lot.
Oh, God.
Plenty. Yeah. One of my friends, came 6 months, couldn't do it. He did well. He was making 12, 15 families, sometimes 20, but he just couldn't take the up and downs. You have weeks where you don't make him some money that couldn't take it.
Right.
Yeah.
How have you been able to manage the ups and downs? Because everyone hears these numbers, and yes, great numbers, but that doesn't mean that you help every family. It doesn't mean that every week goes according to plan. No. It doesn't mean that if you sold 20K last week, you're going to do the same this week. No. You have your days. I remember one of my worst days in the field was like 3 months after I was comfortable selling. Like I was good at, again, back in our day, 20 was a lot. Yeah. It was 20K every month. And then all of a sudden I have 10 appointments one day because I was really good on the phone. I sat with they all were there. I was good at getting them to show up.
There you go.
I couldn't close anything that day.
Okay.
And it was like months in, right? So it happens.
It does all the time.
How do you manage those lows?
Just like you told me. How you were a top producer. You were selling, 20K every single month. And back then, exactly like I was, so 20K was a lot, man, right? You hit 30, it's like you're, superstar.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And those kind of stories remind me that it happens to all of us. Right? Even Sean says it. He's like, hey, some days, I aimed for this goal, but I got to here. So the main point is understanding that, one, it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Two, as long as it's a numbers game, as long as you continuously put in the activity, have income producing ability, income producing activity hours, you're going to be okay.
Right.
And that's what kind of got me to that hump. Make sure that, hey, when times are bad and I really want to kind of tap out, just realizing it happens to all of us.
Right.
And if I can do it once, I can do it again.
Yeah.
So that was my mindset to that. Just basically knowing that, hey, it happened before. It's always business, right? Not everything's going to work out, but keep pushing, keep moving forward. Proven system is going to work. Yeah. So I knew as long as I put the hours into the business, I was going to be okay.
Yeah. It's almost like you take a step back and look at it from like a macro level, right?
100%.
Like you're a sports guy. I was a big baseball fan growing up, big Yankee fan. And, Derek Jeter, one of my favorite players.
I was going to say Jeter's favorite.
Jeter's great, dude.
He's amazing.
Always hit 300, right?
Yep.
But, dude, there were times he'd slump. He going 3-game, no hit. He's over his last. The announce they he's over his last 20, whatever. But at the end of the year, my man's going to finish at 300 or above.
Always.
Doesn't matter because then he'll get crazy hot. And it's like it's the same thing here. It's hard when you're in it. Like I got to imagine being in that slump. He's probably now he means Derek Jeter, but at some point you're probably thinking I'm never going to get a freaking hit again, right? But it's like that day not going 0 for 10. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
But then I think back like, wait, last month I did this, month before I did that. But it's mindset is so important in this business.
It really is.
So you've done a lot with us. You've done a lot for your family, which is awesome. You told me a little bit before we got started that you retired your mom. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I was able to finally just retire my mom and say, hey, Mom, you don't have to work. Now, if you want to work for yourself, to get out the house, move around, that's completely fine. But I want you to know that you never have to worry about finances ever again. Yeah. And that to me was huge because I don't want to get emotional here, but coming from where my parents came from and the work they did and what they had to do to kind of get here, they deserve it. Like they worked their asses off. Like certain language, they busted it. They had, I was at the convenience store. They owned convenience stores for quite some time down in Boston. I would go there when I was young. I remember to this day, every day I'll be up in the office. They're watching the cameras, doing the accounting. going to the banks, 5 p.m. at night, and literally just being a kid, just in the car with them because they couldn't pay for daycare.
Right.
I had to be with them 24/7. They couldn't afford it. My dad would tell me all these stories, his friends going partying, doing X, Y, Z, and he just stayed home, grinding, double shifts. And being able to just, look at my mom and say, you're okay. Like, things going to be all right.
Yeah.
It truly, opened the world to me. It really made me feel like, all right, I'm doing the right thing.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
well, congratulations on that. What was your mom doing for work when you retired?
She was working at Marshall's.
Yeah.
Marshall's retail.
Yeah.
She was doing.
That's
busting
awesome,
her ass off, man.
Yeah,
Working,
absolutely.
moving things left and right. And there's 18-year-old kids in the place. I'm like, why aren't they moving these boxes? I get angry from my mom. Like, it's crazy.
Yep.
I'm like, why are you guys sitting on your ass watching a 65-year-old woman take these boxes and pallets, get up and go do it? But at the end of the day, how some things are. It's corporate, right? You got to, abide by what they tell you
That's
to do.
not my job. Yeah. Your dad's back overseas, right?
Yes.
He's been there running businesses.
Yes.
Lot going on over there, right? The whole war, all that. Has that affected you and your family at all?
It has, to be honest. Yeah, the economy, inflation, a lot of recession has hit.
Yeah.
It's slowing down tourism, so the businesses aren't operating to their full capacity. So it's definitely impacting income on that end.
Yeah.
But, hopefully, with time, things are going to work out, and always, God's going to play the way. But
yeah,
I just hope that, things work out. But it's tough right now. But my dad's there overseas in Lebanon, correct?
Yeah. The reason I ask, it's like, you can let, like I was talking to a guy recently who was a friend of his was in some accident or whatever. And he's like, yeah, my brother's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to go to work. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not like, I feel horrible, but what am I going to do? I'm going to get up and go to work. Yeah. Right. So you got family over there. I'm sure this weighs on you mentally. How are you able to kind of put that aside and keep doing? Because there's people that would let that consume them, right? Like,
I agree.
They complain about it. Like, you don't understand, like, my family's over there, the war's going on. Like, no, I do understand, but what are you going to do about it? Are you in the Army? No, so you're not going to go over there. So what can you do about what's happening right there? And if they do with everything, politics with this, like, this is going to happen. Dude, how about you just take care of you and your family first? Like, how are you able to kind of, all that going on, but still just keep doing what you do here?
So to be very blunt, I'm very thankful I have Marisa, as my business partner and my loved one. I rely on her. She's like my rock in a way. Like, I'll be honest, Mike, like, I know I can talk, but I'll break down sometimes. It gets overwhelming at times, especially when it comes to family and things like that. So Marisa's a big outlet for me. I'll be able to, just voice her my opinion, voice how I'm feeling. And even if I'm saying is out of line, even when I'm saying sounds so dramatic, she'll listen.
Yeah.
So just listen and not, combat it. Just listen. And then I'll realize what I'm saying is stupid. Calm down, Rami. It's going to be okay. And that really has helped a lot with my mindset. But my agents, knowing that if I'm not on my A game, how can I help them? And what if that happens to their families? What's going on with mine? Thankfully enough, I have Family First Life, truly. If it wasn't for all you guys and what you guys do, I would not be able to help my family. My dad was covering all the finances for all of my family, even myself, including until the age of 24.
Wow.
And I'm 33 now. I'll be honest, admit that. I have no problem admitting that.
Yeah,
he just wanted to take care of my family. You guys do nothing. He paid all my college, all my student loans, everything. He just covered it. Now that cut, once, all those things started going awry, and now with the war going on, imagine how my mom feels.
Absolutely.
So at that point in time, that's where I was like, you know what, Rami, shut the F up, get to work.
Yeah.
Kind of, you have the ability to print money, go and do that and go help people. But at the same time, my agents, they kind of help me in there as well. And like I said, having an outlet. So I think it's important to have someone to kind of connect to, just vent to. Even if you're, it's okay to be complaining and dramatic. It happens. We're all human, right? We all have emotions to deal with.
Right. A guy told me 15 years ago, I first got in this business, was just getting going, recruiting. He said this in a meeting, that the day you recruit your first agent is the day you give up your right to be average and ordinary.
I like that.
And I think it ties in with exactly what you're saying, because, like, you didn't say it's verbatim, but, like, you have a responsibility to your agents, right? You recruited agents. They're on your team. You're the leader of that team. It's your business. Like, well, it's a Family First Life. No, that's your business. You recruited those agents. You can't, like, and maybe it's messed up, you can't mope around.
No.
You can't. It's like the airplane analogy, right? Like, you got to put your mask on first. Why? Because go ahead, start putting everyone else's mask on. Don't have yours. Your ass is dead, bro.
Exactly. That's it.
Take care of you first, but do that quickly so you can take care of whoever else is around you.
Exactly.
It's the same thing in this business, right? You got to take, and when I say take care of yourself mentally, and you got to be here. Once you decide to recruit, you don't have the right to feel sorry for yourself. Like, that's mean. No, it's true. You don't. Because other people relying on you.
Exactly. That's the main goal. They're relying on me. And like you said, and just having that mindset and just understanding, like you said, the responsibility of having a business. Just like owning a gas station or, having a convenience store, any type of restaurant, any business in general. Yep. You have obligations, you have staff, you have to make sure they're helping their families. And if you're not having the restaurant in the best capacity, you're not going to have customers coming in. They're not going to be able to serve and wait people.
Right.
It all connects, just like you're saying.
Yep. Yeah, like your dad's got the convenience store. It's one thing if he's running it, but the minute you hire someone, it's like, I better make sure there's enough money to pay this person on Friday.
Exactly.
And then the Friday after that and the one after that. Believe it or not, people show up for work, they want to get paid.
They do. And on that topic, I don't mean to be a sore subject, but my dad's profit for the last 5 months, no profit. So
no profit.
Pay his staff. Like, he's taking money out of his pocket to pay his staff to make sure that payroll is being okay.
And has he ever been in a spot like this? No. He's been in business for what, 40 plus years,
yeah. And he's always been a forward thinker. Like, he told me literally in the 90s, do water filtration or stem cell research if I go into school. That's back in the 90s. I was 8 years old. He told me this. And I was now looking back at it, I wish I did.
Yeah. You're 8. You're like, what the hell, stem cells?
Like,
what are you talking about,
yes,
dude?
Exactly.
I'm trying to go play some football.
Shit, I was Pop Warner. Exactly what's going on here. But he always was forward thinking. So all we had to do is just make sure that, like you said, just timing. Right? Yeah. Timing will heal all, and just get down and go to work, and hopefully things get better.
Got it. And as that ties into the war, or why is the profit so low right now?
Yeah, because exactly. So there's capital control. So capital control means, let's say you have $2 million in the bank, they're going to seize your money. You can't go there, you can't withdraw it. They have weekly limits, and you can't supersede them because they need the economy's money to keep the country afloat. It's like, imagine every single bank just took all of our money and said, hey, we need this to make sure our taxes and XYZ get paid. That's what happens at that point. Wow. You're only entitled to $4,267 by the UN. It's wild. No one puts money in the bank anymore. Truly, overseas, in Lebanon particularly. But so it's been a little tough to deal with that sometimes. Yeah. But again, thank God for FFL, because truly, it helped change my life, and now I'm able to provide for my family and my dad. I can help him sometimes.
Yeah, how's that been? Like, how's your dynamic with your dad? How proud is he of what you're doing?
Well, he loves it. He loves it. I'll be honest. At first, he was a little timid about it because him being in business, he's heard of so many different types of business ventures, and he's like, insurance, okay. He's like, just tell me more about it. He's like, just explain to me what it's like. How is this structure? And once I explained it to him, he understood it. And now at this point where I'm at, he's extremely proud. I bet. He's happy to know that, hey, like, I'm okay. Because if you met me, Mike, 10 years ago, you would say, is he going to be okay in 10 years right now? Like, I was different. Yeah, I was partying all the time, out 24/7. I was doing my own thing. I didn't reckless abandonment. I didn't care if, like, from a person, like, you know what I'm saying? I would not go to school. Like, Marisa would literally drop me off at the train station. I would tell her, I'm going to college. And what I would do is hop on the T, go on the Orange Line, and go into Boston instead of going to my school.
Just hang out.
Yeah, just hang out. Or I'd go to my boys' school. Yeah. Literally going to class. I should be at class at the same time. I'm waiting in the courtyard while he's going to class. I'm skipping class. Imagine how stupid that is. That's the kind of mindset I had back in the day. And, of course, you grow and you learn and you change.
Yeah, so when did the change happen and how?
That's actually, the change happened into, to be honest, now I'm at 33. It's probably like 8 years ago, and I was 25, 26. I was fed up. I was fed up being tired. I was like, that's it. I was like, Rami, if you continue to, I had a real conversation with myself. I said, Rami, you continue to go down this path, you're not going to have much available to you, truly. Like, in all seriousness, like, you're going to either, be in a very bad place you don't want to be, or you're not going to be here. I wanted to make sure that, both those routes were never my future. So I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to cut out some people from my life, no longer go out to the clubs. It's okay. I don't have to go party and all that. I got out of my system early, and I just started to work. I started to work a little bit, work more and more, and then work became like my obsession in a way. And that kind of helped me get through everything.
Got it. Well, that's awesome. A great story, and it's just amazing to hear, all the shit you've gone through and to see where you're at now, where you're going to continue to go. You are recruiting now, right?
Yes.
How's that going?
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Got some good agents coming in the pipeline. Yeah, cool. Definitely. Love it.
What's the team volume right now?
My team volume is a little low. It's around 110, 150. Yeah, right under VP.
Got it.
Right now, my personal production was what I was focused on in the beginning, but now focused on.
So you getting a bonus yet?
Yeah.
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 That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It is.
Yeah. So you're getting a VP bonus. You're getting a producer bonus. And then obviously commission from the carriers. Not a bad program.
No.
So let everyone know, if whoever's watching that's not with us, if they want to join you. Are you on social media? Yes. What's your platform that you're on mostly? What's your handle? Of
course, guys, if you guys want to follow me, just go on Rami, Rami Hamady, Hamady on Instagram, or FFL Financial Society is my agency. Just go ahead and send me a DM, and I'll get back to you.
There you go. We like to wrap up, Rami, with stuff that has nothing to do with life insurance, just some fun stuff. So, are you? What do you do for fun now? I know you work a lot, but are you a music guy, movie? Like, what do you do?
Sports and movies.
Sports and movies.
Sports movie. I'm a big movie guy. I like sitting at home on the couch after a long day, 11 o'clock at night, watch a movie or an Audible, maybe read like a podcast or watch a podcast type of thing, or sports. I love.
You have a favorite movie genre?
Movie genre right now, it's me personally, sci-fi. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sci-fi like fantasy kind of guy. Like I love like the witches, those supernatural, those types of movies.
Give me your top 3 sci-fi movies. If I know nothing about sci-fi, I want to get into sci-fi. What are you telling me to watch? What are your top 3?
I'm gonna tell you to watch Alien. I'm gonna tell you to watch the X-Files as a TV show, Alien series, all the movies.
Yeah.
And then I would even lead you with Game of Thrones in a way. I know it's not really sci-fi, but it's more of that fantasy version, or Westworld for real sci-fi.
Oh, dude, I love the first season of Westworld.
Westworld, it was legit.
Yeah, second was okay, and then third, I'm like, what are we doing, guys?
They pushed it out. Yeah,
it's like, dude, you're trying to be. I shouldn't have to like have a book on the side to tell me. Like, I should just be able to watch and know what's going on. I should have to do my own research after I watch the show.
The second they brought Jesse from Breaking Bad in, I was like, all right, that's it. They're dragging it out.
It's too bad because I like him. But
I love him as an actor, truly.
Yep.
But that's their show. God. After they should have ended it once, they did the send off when he kind of offs off. I think that should have been the send-off.
I don't even think I've seen. Is there 4 seasons? I don't think I've seen the last one.
There might be. I think when they go in the city, but
Most
was good though.
Like too much.
And supernatural. If you're into like any type of like ghosts, things like that. Supernatural. It's long, but it's good.
Okay.
It is.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
Ooh, to watch? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Football right now, NFL all day, and basketball, NBA. I love NBA, but football is definitely a fun sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
Tough question. I think the Chiefs can repeat as long as they get Rashee Rice back out the exempt list. But outside of that, not just the Chiefs. I like the Pats, but they're not going to do shit this year. Excuse my language, right? They can't.
Yeah, one of the Pats. Yeah.
I think the Chargers might do something this year. It depends on what they can do.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Kyron Williams a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that what they have out there is good. With Jim Harbaugh coming back up, I think they can do some work.
Nice.
Who do you like?
I'm a Packers fan.
Packers?
So, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're playing Eagles in Brazil this week. So
nice.
See how that goes.
Jordan Love, so the starter?
Yeah. He got a big old fat contract. So
there you go. Good for him.
Hopefully he does just as good as he did last year.
I think he will.
Yeah. So are you a fantasy football guy?
Yeah, I am.
I got Brock Purdy and I got Jordan Love. Who should I start?
Purdy,
really?
Purdy.
Yeah.
The more weapons. But then again, if depends on the running back situation in Green Bay, right? If the backs ain't there, go Love. He's gonna be throwing the rock, I think, 50+ times a game.
All right.
But Purdy,
you heard it here first. We'll see how it works out. Purdy. All right. Maybe I'll go with Purdy. And
got it.
All right. Cool. Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming up doing this.
I appreciate having my truly. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. And congrats on all the success. Keep it going. And I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're at 458 right now.
Yep.
What's your goal for the end of the year?
1 million.
1 million. You're going to be at $1 million.
1 million.
All right. Well,
100%. I was tracking it. I'm still tracking it. A couple months, got to kind of grind down. Yeah. It's okay, though.
You're close, dude. I mean, it's ramp it up a little bit towards the end of the year. And I don't say it's easy, but the end of the year, holidays and stuff, it's harder to tie people down, but family's more on everybody's mind. Like back in the day, we always had like our biggest months were the last few months of the year because, I mean, it's holiday time. People think about family. That stuff's on their mind. They take time off of work. So, I think you'll hit it.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Wow, good stuff, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on, my friend.
Absolutely. Guys, thanks for tuning in. You know where to find us. If you've not already, subscribe, like, share this with your agents, and you know where to find us every week right here on True Talk. We'll see you next week.